Welcome back everybody to a brand new episode of Pine Outdoors. Links to my store, Instagram, and Facebook can be found in the description box below. I'm super excited. I'm back home. I had a great time in St. Thomas. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law were super accommodating. They took care of us the whole time. We got to go out and do some fishing. We caught a shark. The girls had a great time. I can't ask for any more. It was such a blessing. So basically today I'm gonna try to get this machine running, run a little bit of plastic through it. We're gonna do the assembly process. I have to say the shipping was really fast. My other machine took like 8 months to get, and it was just seemed like I had problem after problem. I'm not gonna dive too deep into all that because I'm gonna do a comparison video coming up after we use this thing for a little while. So right now what I'm gonna focus on is just getting this thing put together, kind of figuring it out. We're gonna get some plastic in it, run it, and just see how things work. This thing comes packaged really well. It looks just like basically a workhorse system. I have no complaints so far. They did an excellent job wrapping this thing up, packing it. Only thing I noticed was this plate back here looks like it was bent a little bit, but we could hammer that out and flatten it down. When we actually find where we want to mount this thing, then I'll just screw it all down and it'll be stationary. As I was reading through the manual, I noticed it says on the large you need to have 2 separate 20 amp breakers. The mini I think can all run on 120 amps. You get 2 of these power supply cables, 2 of these heater, just like comes on a Presto pot for deep frying stuff or making plastic, whatever you're going to use it for. This is all of our stirring stuff, I think. These will be what hold the mixer blades. These are going to be temperature probes, covers for the pots, and these will be the first thing that we'll be putting on the machine. The base must be screwed through the base flange to a heavy duty table or bench. I'm not going to worry about that now because I don't know where I need to put this thing. Second step, screw on the legs / feet to the underside of the pots. It's got it marked right there that we need to use those. Mini. So we'll go ahead and screw these in. Okay, so for this, to secure this, I have this 3/16 Allen key. Looks like we can just snug them down. We don't want to go super tight with them yet because we're going to have to adjust everything. We need to get into this box. It has these little stilts in it, just like this. Looks like it's got some type of a heat something here that's going to keep it from transferring that heat. I know for a fact we're going to take this and put it on the mini mark, just like this. L I'm assuming is going to be for large, M for mini. Go ahead and put your washers on each of your bracket deals there. Then you'll need to install all of your Allen key screws just like so. Do not tighten. And then we're going to sit the assembly on top. I'll show you that right now. If you look underneath here, see this screw and this screw? Then we're going to take them and set it right on top. See how it's sitting that threaded hole there? We want to do the same thing back here on the back. So it sat just like that. We're going to do the same thing to the other side and then we will tighten. Now that we have them in their proper position, then you just start tightening them down. If you support the base with one hand while you come over here and kind of tighten up with the other one, it makes it a lot easier to get them started and you won't have to worry about stripping them. That's the one thing, do not strip them. Running mine all the way to the top. So this extended nut, I'm just running it flush to the bottom of the mechanism. What you want to do is you want to push this pot back to where this holds it snug. Here's number 2. We want to make sure that it's the same way. So we'll move this back to there. Alright, that's roughly where it's supposed to be. Pull it out. Now this one, we want to make sure that this one is going to be snug. So somewhere in there. Now let's do this since everything is all the configuration it's supposed to be. We're going to go ahead and snug these up. Just going around and snugging these. I'm not gorilla gripping them, doing anything crazy. You don't want to torque them so much that you strip something out. Get them hand snug. Go ahead and go back and put a whooping on them with the Allen key. Get them tight. Now we're gonna over under, put it in where it holds it nice and snug and tight, just like that. When you're setting this in here, right here, you want to make sure that you've got it pushed all the way in right here, that O-ring is sealing stuff up. Now then when you twist, it holds her steady right there. I'm kind of supporting this side with my belly so that way it gets all the slack and play out of there. Go ahead and set your front one. We're gonna loosen her out, pull the injector out, go over here, vertical orientation, same story, just like that. Support it kind of with your belly. Snug her down. That part's done, so let's go ahead and move on to the next. Now it's asking us to do step number 6, attach the temperature controller probes. Plug into the back of base, then connect tips into the clamp slot at the back of the pop base. 5/16 wrench required. Okay, so right here is what it's talking about, the 5/16 of an inch wrench that's required. It's gonna be these. There's 2 different places to put the probe. The main thing is that it's connected. Now just for ease of access, I'm gonna put my temperature probe right there. I'll go ahead and hand tighten. We need a temperature probe on the other side, and probably just for sake of uniformity, I don't think it really matters which way you do it. I'm gonna do them both on the outsides. You're gonna take this for this side, plug it into the brain right there. Plug it in right there. And then these, they've got you some 110 outlets already installed back here. Keeps everything nice and super clean. Go ahead and plug this one in also. I really like the design of this so far. Now that just leaves these are gonna be for our stir motors. So let's go ahead and see what they're asking us to do next, and I think we're just about there. Step number 7 says connect the thermostat power cords to each pot and plug into the receptacles. Now I already did that, so we want to go ahead and set it to something, and I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'll probably do mine like, I'm going to do mine right there between 275 and 325, around 300. Now it says the stirrer motors need to be attached to the pot lids. Use the screws and spacers provided. All right. This is how you go ahead and assemble the mixing motor to the plate. So you'll put this just like so. It'll be facing you. What you need to do here is get these screws out. Remove all the collars. They go through just like this. Once you have them all through, then you need to put the collars on one by one. All right. Then the front of the motor faces the hole right here. This will be at the front of the machine. Then you just want to go ahead and get them started. Home Depot didn't have what I needed, the specific clamp that this calls for, so I might have to check with Granger in the meantime until Ultramolds can send me the part, which is no big deal. No problem. Now before you tighten these things all the way down, whatever the little deal that you guys actually receive in the mail with your order will be what goes on. It'll go on top of this, and this will go like that. So then go ahead and you can tighten it on down there. put the paddle on the shaft. In my case, I'm using this hose clamp, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. And you want to make sure that it's adjusted to the proper height once you put this in. One other quick thing that I wanted to annotate was that this side is about 1/8 of an inch shorter than this side. So whenever I try to install this, it kind of bumps and it won't go all the way through. So, which again, it's not that big of a deal. I can always make something that'll go there. So just be aware that that may be an issue that you have to deal with. Okay, finally we have these nice little covers that keeps the fumes all inside the machine, but still gives you access if you need to throw a little bit more flake or something else in. It's like everything else that they have, it's easy to put together, so I cannot complain at all. Keeps it nice and tight, covered up. Okay, again, this is not an ideal setup, but I think this will be just fine for getting us through today. We have clearance down here on the bottom. I could actually let it go down a little bit further, and I think actually I might do that. If you really wanted to get technical and you didn't have the right stuff, then you could always, you know, drill this out here and make something that you could kind of thread in there. Thread one of these little screws in. Now this is the last part. You take this and you plug it in into the back. There's only one way to do it, so just make sure you got the left on the left and the right on the right, and you're good to go. That only leaves one thing, and that's to go ahead and power it all on. I'm gonna set all this stuff to the side here, and we're gonna give it a whirl, just see what happens. I'm gonna do it off camera so that way I don't look like a goof. Once I get it figured out, I'll be right back with you. Looks like this is gonna be our PID right here. Okay, so this is our stirrer motor. This is our stirrer motor. That's how fast it's rotating. I'm just gonna put it on whatever that is, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you turn them towards the inside, that's when the temp starts climbing. That turns the pots on. I'm already liking the way this looks. Look at that, bro, how fast that temp's climbing. You know, my other rig, its temp don't climb for jack. All right, we got it all preheating. Got each side set to 322. Seems like where it was running pretty well earlier. Got a 1/2 gallon in the top, 1/2 gallon in the bottom. We're gonna run 1 gallon of metal mist. I do not have my cooling plates or my cooling system in yet, but it should be here tomorrow. Now, if I may talk a little bit about this, I have to say I'm pretty impressed. It holds the temperature really well. I'm very surprised at how stable it is. I don't have anything but good to say about this machine. there you go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 280 plus all these here. I mean, there's probably about 2,000 there, so maybe a little bit more. All in all, you guys, I'm super impressed with this machine. No complaints.